Hi, I'm James Nelson, partner at Massey Knackle Realty Services, and this is the Nelson Report's July 2012 podcast. In my last blog posting, I talked about how quickly due diligence needs to be done when purchasing a property in New York City. Out-of-town buyers are often shocked when we tell them that our sellers will not entertain due diligence periods. And that this needs to be done during contract negotiations, as we expect the contracts will be signed with no contingencies and a 10% hard deposit. This is really a result of how much competition there is for our listings. As I've said in previous podcasts, in 2007 our company had 750 listings. That dropped to 500 in 2009, and we have basically flatlined at this point because we're having challenges keeping the amount of inventory that's required. A lot of these listings end up going to contract and signing in a matter of weeks. So again, what that means is that a buyer entering this market has to have their due diligence team in place, because when they're ready to get a contract, they need to be moved quickly. A due diligence team consists of, first of all, a good broker who can advise you to make sure that you can understand the investment and have all matters out of the way. We are not believers in waiting to the last minute to disclose any issues with the property. We're big believers that you tell everyone everything about the property, good and bad, up front, because they're going to find out at the end anyways, and you don't want any retrades. So once you've been properly advised and you've done your initial due diligence, you want to have a good New York City transactional real estate attorney. We've seen so many sales fall by the wayside because the attorney is a generalist, or maybe they're not familiar with the nuances of New York City real estate. You're also going to want to have your inspectors lined up. There's one-stop shopping firms that do all physical due diligence, such as environmental, engineering. Now, reports like this can sometimes take weeks to get, which is time that you don't have. But I've found that a lot of our buyers go in and they make sure and attend those inspections with the engineers, with the environmental inspectors, to get the verbal on the spot. And if they have the assurance on the spot that everything looks okay, they move forward and they sign that non-contingent contract. Because again, if you're going to wait a couple weeks to get that phase one report to come back, the property might have already signed with someone else. So again, these are extreme examples, but you really need to be willing to go to whatever length in most cases to get a property signed up in the city. I had a site in the East Village where we knew that we had a contaminated site because there used to be an on-site dry cleaning premises, and we had a phase two that said there were environmental issues. But representing the seller shared the report with the buyers, but they were not willing to represent the accuracy of the report. That meant that we had a buyer go in and do his own phase two and borings. This was before he had a hard contract. So he spent tens of thousands of dollars up front to make sure and have the comfort for him to sign. Now, you might say, why would you ever go to this length if you don't know that you have a deal? And what I try to tell buyers is, trying to be helpful throughout the process, I don't want to pull the rug out from a buyer at any point. And I tell buyers, look, if you're going to do this work, you're not going to get a call from me tomorrow saying I signed a contract with someone else. Now, if someone is doing their due diligence and another offer comes in, a higher offer, I tell the buyer right away, because you don't want to, again, pull the rug out from under them. So as long as we can coach them through the process, we try to get them to the finish line. Otherwise, I bet that very few buyers would take the steps necessary to move forward. Some buyers tell me that they are able to get due diligence periods elsewhere. I will tell you, if you can secure a due diligence period anywhere in New York City, do it. Sign it up. But as far as what we advise our sellers, there's really no need, regardless of how bad the environmental situation, the engineer's inspection. There's just too much competition here in New York, so sellers should hold out for non-contingent as-is, whereas contracts with 10% deposits. So that's all I have for you this month, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks so much.